This is the Eurobike G4 bicycle of Europe. So everyone in Europe has a Eurobike. It's the most popular bike in Europe. No, I'm kidding. This is one of the cheapest mountain bikes you can buy. This is a folding mountain bike with 26-inch wheels called the G4 Eurobike. So let's see what you get for not a lot of money. It has 3 chain rings in the front and a derailleur made by Shimano, and it's got a Shimano tourney derailleur in the back as well, and it's got a 7-speed cassette there with 14 to 28 tooth size, and it is a super bike. And that is the #1 Eurobike fork on it. That's the basic Chinesium fork that you get on all the cheapest mountain bikes. It's tough, but no damping, just a spring, and then on the back is this funky looking shock. And on the handlebars, you get the trigger shifters that are indexed so you can see what gear you're in, made by Shimano tourneys. Decent. For this quality of bike, I'm surprised to see any brand names on it, so that was a happy thing to see. But if you go down to the bottom, those brakes are not Shimano's. They are ball heads. Never heard of those, mechanical disc brakes, but they have good feel and lots of stopping power. So you can slow down and stay in control and even do a stoppie if you dare on your G4 Eurobike. Pedals are cheapo plastic generic pedals. And the rear suspension linkage is bolts through steel with some plastic washers on them. So I'm not sure how long that's going to last or if those holes are going to get bigger based on how thick or how strong the steel is. And this bike's a couple of years old, though it has almost 0 miles on it. The guy said nobody ever rode it, but you can see the fork is already starting to get rusty in the chrome, and it maybe 60 millimeters to travel, maybe 80 is all you get out of it. And then the wheels are Harry SF, and the tires are unbranded. So they're 26 by 1.95 tires in kind of a gravel pattern. I made the mistake of putting too much air in them. It says maximum PSI 40, and I put 45 in them. And so I ended up causing the tire to have a tumor, and it kind of hops down the road when I ride it now. You can see that big bump going by right there. Let's see, back it up. See, so I've wrecked this tire, and I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. So if you have a similar predicament, I recommend the Schwalbe Road Cruiser tires with Kevlar. And then I also like the thick slicks, I think look awesome in a 1.95. Big fat slick fatties. Now this bike is built for short people and recommended for people I think under 5'9". So I put this stem on it. This is not from the factory. Look at that brand name, Zikfajid. They just put a bunch of consonants together with no vowels. But that raises the handlebars enough for me being 6 feet tall to be able to comfortably ride it. And that's the size of that stem if you wanted to do that upgrade. So basically I just put one on there that swivels, and in the background you can see the stock one that you would get on the bike. The chain is even branded. It's an actual KMC chain. So I was kind of surprised to see that too versus a generic chain. And then there's the Shimano tourney logo on the rear derailleur. So you do get some name brands. Now this kind shock, there's no damping on this shock absorber, and it's got a crank there on the left side, or that would be the bottom side, where you can turn it and create more spring tension. Right there, you can see I've got it cranked up quite a bit to create spring tension. And if we peek inside, it's just a metal spring with no damping in there. So there's a big metal spring that handles the boingage. But on the street, which is probably where this bike belongs, you can see in slow motion here going over some bumps, it does suck up the bumps. So it is very comfortable riding around the street and gliding along, which we'll see in our road test later. And then if I put it on my luggage scale, it is over 40 pounds. So it is heavy. And it is heavy because it's made out of steel, very cheap, thick steel. So if you stick a magnet on it, I came out here with a magnet just for fun to see how many things my magnet can stick to. And it sticks to almost everything on the bike is made out of steel. So that's where all that weight comes from. The seat isn't made out of steel, fortunately. The seat is quite comfortable though. And then that is an alloy crank. So at least you get an alloy crank. And then if you're going to the store, or if you have pictures of your kids, you can put them up on your bike for future reference, like a refrigerator. And the latch opens up, and then you lift it to kind of remove a peg out of a hole. That's how you would unfold it. And then it just kind of folds in half. Not great compared to some other folding bikes because those handlebars stay stuck wide open. And then you could take the front wheel off and turn the handlebars parallel to make it more flat, but the wheels are held on by nuts, so they're not quick release, so you'd have to bring a wrench and take your wheels off with a wrench every time you took it off to fold it in half. But for folding it in half and jamming it in the closet or putting it in the corner of a room, it works fine. It's got a little stand that protects the bottom bracket, and then the handlebars are 640 millimeters wide. And here's a look at the suspension in action, just so you can see where all the movement points are. And the fact that my body weight can move it up and down means it gives you a comfortable ride. So now it's time for the road test. I took it out around the city of Los Angeles to the La Brea Tar Pits. That is a giant sloth behind me there. And just put it through its paces in an urban environment. I think that's really where this bike belongs. You're not going to have success mountain biking downhill and going off jumps with it, really. I don't think it's made for that. I don't think it could take much of that kind of beating. But in a place like this where there's not much of a bike lane, I got to ride on the sidewalks. I got to go around NPCs walking down the sidewalk and get off into the weeds. It's sucking up the bumps. Now, when you hit a bump, there is no damping front or rear, so the bike kind of keeps bouncing a little bit after the first hit, but you're just kind of floating along, kind of like a beach cruiser, but with a little extra cushion. So I'm happy with that. And then me running 45 pounds of tire pressure, I was able to go pretty fast as well, though. Like I said before, if you put that much pressure in the tires, you're going to wreck your tires. So you probably want to run them at 30 to 35 unless you upgraded to some higher quality tires. But for the LA environment with uneven pavement, sidewalks, going off into the dirt, jumping curbs, and then even mixing up with cars here, you can see I'm faster than a car going through the city here. And those, 640 millimeter wide handlebars. If I was going to do this all the time, I might cut an inch or two off of each side of the handlebars to kind of narrow it up and make it so that it's a little easier to get past people's windows. But overall, if you want a comfortable urban commuter that nobody's going to steal because when they look at it, they know it's not worth anything. You kind of feel safe in the city locking it up. Like I was able to go in the museum and know that when I came out, if somebody's going to steal a bike, they'd steal whatever was parked next to my bike. I don't think they'd even look at this one in terms of theft potential. So you can jump curves with it. You can get on and off the streets. You can go between the cars, and then the whole time I can stay in the saddle. Right? It's not hurting my buttocks going over all this uneven pavement or jumping curbs or, doing urban assault biking. So it's a great city bike, and you don't have to worry about somebody stealing it. And they're on Craigslist. I paid $50 on Craigslist for this one. So overall, I think it's fantastic. And then you can take it on the train. And again, on the train, I'm not worried about anybody stealing it. I just put it over there. I lock it to the railing so it doesn't fall over. But for the urban commuter lifestyle, a beater bike that you don't want to have to worry about if you have to leave it locked up somewhere for a few hours while you're doing fun things, I think the Eurobike G4 definitely has a place in that environment.